Everyone, welcome to Inside the AI. If you're running a small business, a large business, or any business at all, you're going to need lead generation. This video, I'm going to show you two nodes that you see on the screen, which will generate leads for you automatically. So with this workflow that I've created, it's only two nodes, and all I need to do is hit test workflow, and we'll see this execute. And as this is executing, it's retrieving emails. These emails will be passed through a Google spreadsheet and logged into the spreadsheet here, as we see. And these are all the emails, LinkedIn information, and all this type of information we can see. So we have emails here, we have URLs, we have, oh, it just updated. So now we have even more information. So now what we did was we filtered by technology, marketing, automation, human resources, and these are all the people in the Tampa Bay area that can do this. So now if I go back to the workflow, we see this has been executed. I found 28 people in my area, and that's been updated to this Excel spreadsheet. So if you find value in that workflow, all the videos that I've created are going to be posted in my school community that you see here. It's linked in the description below. But more importantly, this is where you can get the JSONs from. So if you see any of these that say YouTube video, you can click this and open it. And then you have the JSONs here. And you can download the JSON, you can download the Google Sheets, and then just link them together and you have the workflow automatically for you. So join my school community. If you find value in this video, please give it a thumbs up and like the video. Join and subscribe and join my school community. So now let me show you what this is actually doing. So we have a trigger here, and this trigger is going to be passed through. So we can change this trigger to say run every month, and this would probably be the best option. Running it every month is because when you go into the HTTP request, we have a free plan in the Apify. And that is limited to a certain amount. So what you can do is every time that free plan starts over, you can run this workflow over again. So now let's go through what this actually is. What does this actually mean? This is a node. What this means is this is something that is going to be completed in this workflow. It's going to receive information. It's going to pass information. What this node does is it calls a specific website. So for this node, what we're going to do is I'm going to open it up and I'm going to go through this node in extreme detail because this is a very powerful node. This is an HTTP request node. So what that means is HTTP is your connection to the internet, how you connect to a web page. So this node allows you to connect to a page. So essentially what we're doing here is we're calling a page, we're giving it a URL, and this URL is going to have a method of what this node is trying to execute. Now, to caveat that, you need to make sure that when you're doing this, you have an API key. An API key essentially is the key to tell it you are who you are, and it's authorized. Go ahead and execute this. So that's what an API key is, right? So now if we go through the methods, what the methods stand for is you're telling it to do something. So we've told this node, this is the URL. This is what I want you to do. Delete, get, head, options, patch, post, and put. So these are the options you can do and tell it. In this case, we're connecting to that URL and we're asking it to get some information. So that's what this is doing. Now, how do we know what URL to use? So for this case right now, to download these 28 data sets, what we need to do is we need to go to Apify. And Apify, if you don't know what it is, it's a scraping tool. They have multiple programs, so I'm going to go through this in extreme detail for you. So here is the Apify plans. You have a free plan, a starter plan, a scale plan, business, and entrepreneur enterprise. So each one of these has limitations. All right. So when you go into your actors, if you see here, I want to show you some of this pricing model. Many of these, you have the option to have a free plan. The free plan allows you to return a certain amount of free usage every month right here at the bottom left. Now, there are specific nodes or workflows that come with the paid subscription. The reason you can see this is the mass LinkedIn email scraper. And what this is telling me is it's a trial, activate. This is telling me that this is on a $5 a month on top of the Apify cost. All right, so no one really covers that in any YouTube video that I've seen. But since I have a free plan, they do give you a trial period. My trial period will end today, but I wanted to show everyone this so I didn't have to pay the $30 a month. So there's many different scrapers that use the Apify plan. So then that would be a $39 charge. On top of that will be a $5 charge every month. So I just want you to really understand that. For these other ones down here that are pay by, say that 40 times, pay by event or pay by lead or pay by results. I will show you what that means. These do not go off of the Apify plans, so it can work with the free plan. The challenge is you're limited to the number of returns you will be able to return. So what that means is if you go down to the actual plan, you have $5 of credits. So when you do a request, and if this says $5 for 1,000 leads, you can run this one time, return the 1,000 leads, and you've just used your $5 for that month. So now you could use this every month to bring in 1,000 leads and never pay for any plan. Now, with that said, I want you to understand why it's important to know that you would pay for a plan versus not paying for a plan. If you don't pay for a plan, you're going to have to manually scrape. And what that means is you're going to have to look into people's websites, gather their information, and then start sending them emails. So what you have to balance is the $100 worth 40 hours of your time to go find the information on your own. And if it's not, then use the paid plan to bring in more information and more emails, more leads. So now here are all the plans. You can go through this. I will link this in the description where you can review the pricing. Now, when you come into the Apify website, you're going to be asked to start an account. Once you create the account, I'm going to go through this as if you've never created an account. This is where you're going to start. Again, these are all of the actors that I have active right now. These are the ones that I have saved on my account. And this is the one we're going to go through, the mass LinkedIn email scraper. That's what I just ran, and that's the one that works. The other ones I've run, and some of them are challenging. This one says $1.20 for every 1,000 leads. However, I've never gotten it to bring me back any information. So to know or to see what you want to do is you can go here to the Apify store. And what this is each one of these has their own task and purpose. And these are all actors. These are all, like when you call it an actor, that means it's an actor that's going out to the internet, scraping the information and bringing it back to you. So with that said, if we go to the Apify store, you can go here and you can find more actors. You can find hundreds of different types of actors. Well, actually, there's 4,500 plus actors built. Some of these are built by Apify, and some of these are built by people and communities on their own. So be careful of what you're using. So now when you want to find something, you can just type in LinkedIn, and it will give you all the actors that you could use for a LinkedIn post or account or email. There's many different things you can do. So now where that pricing model comes in, when you're using these and you're finding the right one, the pricing model right here is very important to filter against. So these don't tell you the price. And it's very challenging to go through each one by one. That's what I was doing before. So what you want to do is go to all pricing models. And if you want to use the all pricing models, you can, but filter this based off what you want to do. If you want to pay by result, you can do that. You can do pay by event and pay by usage. I'm going to show you pay by result and see what comes up. So now this is filtered based off of that. Now, if you trust Apify only, then you can click here and maintain by Apify. So now we see that has significantly filtered it down to 2. Now I'm going to go back to the maintained by community. There's never any issue with this, so it's not any better than the other one. But now I'm going to go through this and leave it as most relevant. So this breaks down how to search for an actor and then what the pay by results are, pay by events. If you do it this way with the pay by results and pay by events, you don't have to worry about the $39 starter plan that you have to pay for the Apify. So now let's go back into building out this actor. There's many videos out here that show you how to build this part out, but they don't talk about how to get this JSON down here. And this is where this video is going to be very useful for, because now if you're getting into n8n and you want to learn how to update this JSON down here to retrieve the right information, I'm going to show you how to do that. So when you go back to your Apify, let me click. So if I'm in the store and I want to go back to the actor that I'm using for this specific node, I just need to go to actors. And what this is going to do, like I said, it's going to bring you back to that homepage and show you all the ones that you have used. So this is the one that I'm working in, and I want to show you how to use this. Now you can automate this process with the n8n workflow by creating a node before you get to this HTTP. So you can create a system to filter and build out this JSON file that we're about to make that goes into this HTTP request. But because this video is only focusing on Apify and how to build this small workflow, I'm going to show you how to get this JSON right now. So now I'm in my mass links. Again, we went to actors, and then I selected the actor that I wanted to use. Now, this is where some of the videos, they go really rapid through this. Here is the tabs that you need to use to run and use this actor. So the inputs is very important. This is how you build out that JSON. Whatever is in that JSON is going to be right here in the information. So if I want to change this to, let's see, what can I run? Retail. And then I can change this to technology. I can add more. I'm going to show you what it's doing. I can change this to marketing. And basically, this is manual. So now we're creating the JSON here. So if you click JSON, it's going to show you how this search that you are creating, this is basically becoming the search that you're creating, would look in a JSON. So now here's that the same information I just told it is now in a JSON. If we see here, it says keywords, retail, technology, and marketing. The JSON method is keyword, retail, technology, and marketing. And so now I can say what location. I can switch this to Georgia, or let's say Atlanta. I can switch this to whatever I want, LinkedIn. So this is a LinkedIn one, so you can't change this, but there are some where you can do multiple LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. You can change this to whatever option you would like. So you can open this up and it'll tell you. So I'm going to leave it as Gmail, but now what we're going to do is I'm going to go back to JSON and I'm going to show you how this has changed. So now this has been updated. It's changed to Atlanta, LinkedIn, marketing. And so what you want to do is copy this, and then you want to put it into your node that you are working in, n8n. So now down here, you put it down here, you will go into here and you'll paste it in. So now this has been updated. So now anything that is over here is not going to be the same when I run this again. So now with this updated, I want to show you a couple more things. So now as we're going through, remember this URL. So to get this URL, when we go back to our mass links, I'm going to talk through each one of these. This is some information of how to run this scraper. So when you don't know what to do, you can come back here and read through this, and it tells you how it works. So I know no one likes to read. This is why I go through and read these and then create these videos. So now runs provides you all the times you've run this. So now I just ran this and it charged me 0.18 cents, or I don't even know if that's 18 cents. That's less than 18 cents. To see what's inside of this, you have to click this button right here. And now you have the information that has been pulled. Here's all the information. So now you can look at the inputs. This is what they use to pull that information, and the outputs. This is how it would look. So now you can go to a table view, or you can see it in a JSON. So there's many things you can do with this. You can export it, but don't export it from here. Use n8n. So basically what we did was we passed it through our own custom system so that we can keep a log of all of our potential customers in one location. I've run this 2 times, and in a couple of seconds, I have 43 results that I can start targeting to see if I can acquire new customers. So now going back to the Apify to go through this, I want to go back to my actor. So once I'm inside this and I'm seeing what's happening, I'll go back to my actor. And when I'm in my actor, we have builds. And the builds is the same thing. It kind of just tells you what happened and what was going on. Now, the most important part that you're going to run into is the integrations. Okay, so integrations is where you're going to connect this to a workflow. And so what I mean by that is for n8n specifically, you want to go down to the bottom. And this is going to be the endpoint. This is going to be the use API endpoint. And what that means is it's going to interact with the apps through the HTTP request that we've made. This is the one that, because we're using an HTTP request, this is the one we need to use. This is why we're using it. I'm trying to make this video so that you understand which ones you're using, but more importantly, why. Because a lot of the YouTube videos out there are only going through click this button, click that button. And I'm trying to tell you why you want to click this one. This is the one that connects to the HTTP request. So when you click this, it's going to bring you to this API. Inside this API page, it gives you the HTTP link. This link has your API token in it. So you don't want to publicize this anywhere, but this says the link, it gives it the filters, and it tells it the credentials so that you can access the information. So now each one of these has their different reasons of why you would use it. But what we use for this one is run actor synchronously and get data sets. If you don't use this one, you're not going to get anything back. So you want to copy this and then paste it into that URL. So you paste it right here. I'm not going to paste it because I don't want to display my API key. Once you do that, you run this and it will run the information. It's going to send that information to your Google Sheets. Now, what you want to do is when you're creating this, you want to do it like this. You want to open this up and you want to test it. So now what's going to happen? It's running. It's going to the Apify website. It's gathering the information and it's running the JSON and it's getting the information. Now, when you're building one of these out, if you don't just want to grab someone already made from a school community, or you want to customize this, when the information comes in, we have keywords, titles, descriptions, URL across the top, and email. So now what you have to do is, if you wanted to say you could get their phone number, it would come in as another column in your Google Sheets as phone number. So what I'm telling you this for is, when you create this workflow, what you want to do is, at this point, I would open my Google Sheets, and at the top, if there was no information here, I have to make this match the workflow at the top. So now if you look at this, this essentially is my Google Sheet across the top. So now when I run this it's sent 28 more leads to this Google Sheet. The problem is those 28 are only going to go to my Google Sheets, right? So I'm going to run this so you can see what it means. So now those 28 are being passed, and it's going to be sent to my Google Sheets. So now when I go here, I have 28 more retail, technology, and marketing within the Atlanta, Georgia area. So now with that said, the last few things are monitoring, issues, saved, and reviews. These you will never use. If I've looked through these, and a lot of these are ran. So issues is basically, if you have an issue, you can go there, you can post it, and you can hope that the person who's running this will email you back for a resolution. I rarely see it happen. I have looked through a bunch of issues, and I've seen a few creators go in and resolve the issue for the person, but the amount of people, it doesn't really work. So that is everything you're going to need to know for the Apify website. So going back to this workflow, what I would do next from this is I would filter through information to only bring back my first row of information. And I would create an additional automation to use an AI. And once I create this open AI, I'm going to ask it to message a model. And then from this, I can go here and I can send it through Gmail, and I can start sending out emails to these people to see if they want my services. So if you think this is useful, let me know. I will build out the next few nodes, but this is completely unfiltered Apify. Everywhere else you go, I think it's not going to tell you all the details of the pricing models, etc. of Apify. So if you found value in this video, please give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and more importantly, join my school community where I'm always updating JSONs and putting more information. Thanks for your time. I'm the Data Doc. Bye-bye.